I'll give this to you real quick on the way out. Y'all tell me if this makes any sense to you. I think that the lineup is essentially going to be as follows. And sorry, I don't have a graphic for this, so just kind of bear with me as I go through as I go through it. Now that we don't have Nolan Arenado anymore, my belief is that it's going to look a little something like this. We're looking at our first hole with Mason Wynn. Batting second, we got Alec Burleson over there at first base, Mason at second base. Second base right now, I'm looking at more than likely Thomas Ajayci. Thomas Ajayci is that fit. All right. Now, if it's not Thomas Ajayci, it could be JJ Weatherholt, but those two are slightly interchangeable. Of course, we've got our third baseman. I truly believe that Nolan Gorman has been given the position of third base. They was trying to get Nolan Arenado out in 2024 just so that Nolan could get more reps at third base. So that's your third baseman. Left field, we still got Nootbaar for the time being. If it's not Nootbaar, then Brandon Donovan. If he doesn't get traded, my assumptions are that Brandon Donovan is being held for the King's ransom, and they don't want just a couple eighth-round prospects for Brandon Donovan. They want somebody that's going to bring back some butts to the seats, and Brandon Donovan is their best chance of getting something of that value. They're not going to get a Julio Rodriguez or a Jose Ramirez or somebody that's the team franchise, but they could get at least somebody who is on the who is possibly at bare minimum some small level of excitement to generate a little bit of a jolt for the St. Louis Cardinals Busch Stadium fan going crowd. Center field, we're still at Victor Scott, although I know they've been saying, yo, he got to pull up next year because he did not have the best second half. I get it. And, of course, in right field, we've got Jordan Walker, who was told adamantly by Hein Bloom and Ollie Marmol, and I believe even John Mozeliak before he left, he's going to have to show us a lot in the offseason with regard to winter ball and development and all that to make sure that he is not going to be put on the chopping block in 2026. So that's what the lineup. Oh, yeah, and, of course, in catcher position, we got starting, I believe, Pedro Paez back. Oh, well, actually, I'll take that back. Starting maybe Ivan Herrera now that he had his surgery. And here's what I did want to say to the Cardinals fans out there. I know it looks like right now we're selling off all of our good pieces, and it is true. We're selling off a good portion of them. Something inside of me is getting a little bit excited. Like something about these moves is making me happy. What this feels to me like is, you know how when you finish eating your dinner, Thanksgiving, Christmas, or just a dinner at the end of your day, you may not finish it all, but then you got to go ahead and put that dish by the sink for whoever washes it, either the dishwasher or the actual electronic dishwasher or your mom or your sister or whoever. This to me feels like Hein Bloom is raking the plate. He is leaving John Mozeliak's dirty dish completely clean. He like, look, okay, you couldn't get rid of Nolan Arenado. Watch this. Okay, you couldn't get rid of Wilson Contreras. I talked to him about it. Yeah, he wants to stay, but I convinced him that it's best for him to go because he wants to be a playoff contender. Oh yeah, you couldn't get rid of Sonny Gray. Sonny Gray said he doesn't want to exercise his no trade clause. Oh yeah, I got rid of Sonny Gray. That was my first trade. It wasn't even no problem. The first thing he said, like, Hein Bloom went in and said, like, look, bro, we ain't finna win. Y'all want to win? You want to win? Sonny Gray, do you want to win? Okay, bye. All right, I got you. Oh, Wilson Contreras, you want to win? All right, bye. We'll see you later. Have fun. Wilson Contreras, we got no problem, man. We love you to death, but if you want to win, we ain't finna do that. So, oh yeah, by the way, Nolan, remember how you tried to hold on to our hand the whole entire 2024 season and made it so that Nolan Gorman now only has a few at-bats for him throughout the year because he never really got a chance to get his full service over there at third base? Yeah. You gone home, boy. We out. Yeah, Hein Bloom is not playing that. He is here to make the changes that he came to make, and he is making those changes. And what I really like about it is he's not just tearing it down. He did get Dustin May. He got Ryan Stanek. He's probably going to – and if I know him right, the way he's doing the pitchers with regard to the rotation of the bullpen, bringing in at least one veteran voice so that they can have somebody to bounce off of, I bet you that we're going to see him acquire at least one veteran voice, even though they spent way too much money getting rid of these folks. We're talking about just under $60 million for the next couple of years that he's paying for folks to not play for us. Just about $59 million for the next couple of years to not have Wilson Contreras, to not have Sonny Gray, to not have Nolan Arenado. But once some years gone, we got that money. And we can spend it on some big bet if we want to. It could be a trade for a good run for that year, or it could be an acquisition for a couple of years. We don't know. But he is clearing out the bank He is making that money available so that we can start to stand on our own too, right? The whole operation of trying to get Goldie from Arizona and get Nolan Arenado from the Rockies and then have them take over for our homegrown Yachty and Pujols. It didn't work. It didn't work. They both were at sharp decline. And frankly, they're complementary players. They're players that you don't want to have the franchise based on. They're players that come through in a Cobra clutch after your superstars have already come through. They're not the guys that you want to rely on. They're additional pieces. All right. So I'm a little bit excited. I'm a little excited. I'm a tiny bit excited. And I will tell you why. Because now that these moves have finally been made, we finally get a chance to let the kids do their thing. We finally get an opportunity to see what will a Nolan Gorman give you in a full 162 game season. We finally get a chance to see what is it that we're going to get from a full season of Thomas Saggese. What do we get if we can get Lars Nootbaar to not get hurt multiple times throughout a season? What do we get from a full runway with Nolan with him? What does Joel Pozo do without having to worry about being called up and sent back down now that he's basically on the roster after he spent the years in this car in Kissimmee because he couldn't get health care after COVID? What do we look forward to seeing with Ivan Herrera, who frankly is the one that you all should be the most excited about? Ivan Herrera, guys, is our new star. Him, Mason Wynn, and if we can get him on track, Victor Scott will be the future. Jordan Walker as well. Of course, he's, they keep throwing the if thing up there with him. But if we can get these guys to do what they can with the amount of time that they're about to get, especially you, Ivan, because you the one that personally came. They was like, look, Ivan, we trying to get you to play left field. He was like, man, this don't feel right. Remember when Pedro Paez was at second base, they had him in a different glove. He was like, okay, this is interesting. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, now the kids, there's no excuse. You have the full playground. The whole ordeal with the vets and the adults, they now done went back home. And so Ivan Herrera, it's your time, homeboy. Do not overdo it. Don't get yourself hurt. Don't overstrain yourself. Stay healthy. We need 162 from you, at least 150. All right.